Hey guys, in this video I just wanted to take a minute and go through some of the different leather types we use, because I know in a lot of the other videos that we've made we're throwing out names of leather left and right. If you haven't handled any of this stuff, it can get a little bit confusing. For most every video we do and most of our projects, we're using something that is called Vegtan Leather, which Vegtan Leather is more or less the rawest version of leather that you can get. It's called Vegtan because they basically use vegetable components, oak bark, that kind of stuff, to tan it. Comes in lots of different thicknesses that you usually use for different applications. This one comes in this is 5-6 ounce. This is like 9-10. And if you're unfamiliar with the word ounce, it basically is just describing the thickness. Why they call it ounces, I've asked so many people and nobody really knows. Closest I can get is because it's a reference to an old British traditional term for leather thickness that they use called irons. Which why they use irons, I have no idea either. But in any case, 1 ounce leather is roughly 1/64th of an inch. And you'll find that all the way up to like 30-ounce leather, so it can get pretty doggone thick if you have a big hefty bowl. The second, probably most common one that you find is chrome tan leather. And chrome tan leather is basically just done in a vat of chromium salts. That's why it's called that. And whenever you buy like a leather jacket or the upholstery on a couch, that kind of stuff, that's almost always chrome tanned leather. It's a lot more economical just because it takes like 3 to 7 days to do a vat of chrome tan, whereas like a vat of veg tan takes between 3 and 6 months. Um, the benefits of chrome tan is that you can mix in pigments with the in the slurry, and so the hides that come out of there can already be the color you want them to be. Because they're done in the chromium salts, it locks in those fibers. They basically can't be altered anymore, and it keeps that pigment from running, so you don't have to worry about dye bleed near as much. The downside of it is that because those fibers are kind of locked the way they are, you can't really water mold it very well anymore. It's really hard to do any beveling and burnishing if it's a thicker piece that you're wanting around the edges of, that kind of thing. So most of the time it's used for mass produce kind of stuff. The third version that you see is basically just a combination of the two. That's the name. It's called Combo Tan. And the most popular version of Combo Tan is called Latigo. And Latigo's got a lot of uses and a lot of benefits. It's also got some drawbacks. Because it's combo tanned, it requires both processes. So time-wise and expense-wise, it takes a little bit more to make a combo tan piece of leather. But because of everything it goes through, it can both be pretty pliable and at the same time weather resistant. The pigments can be locked in there. You can add waxes and oils to the slurry, so you can actually have it be really flexible. Latigo is usually considered all-weather leather. So people, if they want a hide that they can just kind of stamp out shapes of and have kind of a finished product without having to dye and seal and all that kind of stuff, Latigo is a good use for all that. But again, you can't really water mold. The edges are hard to do, that kind of stuff. So it is sort of limited. Now, while those are really the only three processes of tanning, there's a couple other types that are almost their own categories. So this is called oil tan, which doesn't actually mean that it's tanned in oil any more than the veg tan or the chrome tan. It's really just that there's a bunch of oil added to the slurry of the already tanning process. And the benefit to this is that it stays pretty pliable, but also has a lot of tensile strength and also is weather resistant. So if you're making like satchels or something that's going to be outside that it still needs to be sturdy and weather resistant, oil tan is a good bet for that. A lot of times the different types can be a little difficult to identify just by looking at them. After handling them for a while, you kind of get a feel for it. But for example, this is a black piece of pre-dyed veg tan, and this is a black piece of Latigo pre-dyed. And from the surface, they look like pretty much the same thing. But if you were to like turn this one on edge and look on the inside, This one has actually been pressed dyed, so it's got dye on this side, it's got dye on this side, but if you look at the edge, you can see a little white line down the middle where that veg tan is still showing, which can also be kind of confusing in itself because some things that are chrome tanned, the chromium salts will actually bleach out leather before the dye is added to the slurry. So if you have a real whitish blue line down the middle, it's actually been chrome tanned. So I know it can get a little bit confusing, but you know, if you at least know what you're shopping for on paper, you know, when you order things, you can make sure you get the right thing sent to you. But like I said before, most of our videos and things that you'll watch us do are done with veg tan. It's the most versatile stuff. And you know, if we're going to be doing something interesting, that's typically what we'll start with. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you'd like to see more videos like this where we will impart some leatherworking wisdom upon you, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we'll be doing some more on different types of leathers, tools, projects, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video.